So in our last video, we kind of discussed about inline CSS, internal CSS, and external CSS. Now in this video, we are going to be discussing what is the syntax of CSS. How do you write CSS exactly, right? So I'm going to erase all of this and we'll only keep our external CSS. I'll just comment here our external CSS link, right? And for every change that we make, we are going to make it in the style.css, right? So I have now made a split in the view so that we can watch the both the um, index.html and style.css together. All right, so I'll remove all of this. Now what I'm going to write is, let's say h1, right? Okay, let's look at this way. So we have some elements here in our HTML. Let's say we add another element here, p, and say uh, our first the content for our first CSS project, a paragraph, right? Now we have a h1 and a p tag here. So if we had to select this h1 and define a style for it, or select this p and define a style for it, all we have to do is understand that this h1 can be used as a selector. So we'll just write h1 as a selector, right? Then the moment you add a curly bracket here, you are saying that this entire thing is a declaration. What is it declaring? It is declaring that this h1 has a style, right? Then under h1 we can put different properties or values, right? So let's say we call a color property. Now these are very predefined. It can't be random statements. These are predefined by CSS that okay, if you want to change the color for something, you have to use this property, and then in color you add a value, say red, right? Similarly, for the p tag, if we have to do this, then we select by p and then make a declaration and then add a property, and the property will be purple. Property value is purple, right? So there are two declarations in our CSS, h1 and p declaration. Each of them have a property and a value is mentioned here, right? And once you save it and you go to, sorry, I have to copy this path, copy path. So oh, this is not saved. Yeah, I'll save it. So as you can see, we have a h1 with red and purple paragraph, right? Now that's the syntax of making very simple selectors uh, with just the element name. But what if we had multiple paragraphs? This is my second paragraph content, right? And I've saved it. So technically this should show up as purple because we are saying all the p tags will be shown as purple, right? So we get another purple one. But what if I wanted to make sure that all the like this p tag and p tag this p tag have different colors, right? So we can do something like this, right? We can say p class para id equals para1, class equals para id equals para1, para2, right? Right. And now I'll show you something. So instead of doing a p declaration, we can select this class, right? So we can say dot para color is green, right? So when you're taking a class as a declaration, you can select it with the dot para color is green. And if you save it, as you can see, this turns green. But we wanted to do what? We wanted to make sure that this para1 stays as green and this para2 is a different color, right? So if you have to select with the id, then we have to select it through hash para2, right? If you're selecting IDs, you have to declare it with a hash, and then you are saying color, let's say blue, and you save it, and this turns blue, right? And this doesn't matter where, this won't matter where you keep it. It will matter where you keep it, because sorry, yeah, this won't matter where you keep it, because you the id ones will take more preference. If you have defined something by an id, declared a CSS style for an id, so that takes more, that is more specific compared to a class declaration, right? So it doesn't matter that you put the para2 above the dot para, because the dot para is a class declaration, which is less specific than an id declaration, right? So let's say I change this and I make it to para 3. So again, para 3 won't apply anywhere, and color green should apply, right? So yeah, it will turn green. But if I make it para 2, doesn't matter where it is in the CSS, the ID one is of high specificity compared to the class declaration, right? So yeah, now what if I wanted that both para 1 and para 2 together, let's say we add p class equals para id equals para 3. This is my third paragraph. What if I want just the para 1 and para 2 to be, of a higher font weight, or like maybe bigger font size, but the para 3 should remain as it is. So I can't select by p tag, because the p tag will change all three of them. I can't select them by dot para, it will change all three of them, and all like all the IDs are different. So how do I select all three of them together? So I can write hash para 1 comma hash para 2 comma hash para 3, and say font size be 20px, right? So what you are doing is you're saying all three paras together, so sorry, will be 20px. Let's say we remove para 3 because we only want these two to be 20px, right? I need to save this as well. So as you can see, the first and second paragraph are of a higher size. Third paragraph didn't change the size. That's because you are grouping them in a way. So now we have learned how to select or declare CSS with simple tags, with class, with ID, and with grouping. There is one more thing. What if I want all the text that is here in this uh, in this website to be of a certain font, right? right? Let's say I don't have any preference on, what I don't have specific fonts for this H1 or paragraphs. I want all the text on the website to be of a certain font. So you can do a universal declaration as well. So how do you do that? You just have to put a star and then define curly brackets, and we'll say the font family will be, let's say, Verdana, right? And save it. So now all the font on this website will be Verdana, because we have said universally in this entire page, whatever is there, whatever font is there, whatever text is there should be of the font family Verdana. Now that is universal selection, right? So now we have done uh, like different kinds of selections here, and I'll define it by comments, right? So how do you comment in CSS? You can comment in HTML like this, obviously, but how do you comment in CSS? So to comment in CSS, you have to put a slash and then star, and then you write your content, say uh, simple selection by element tag, and then you put another star and slash to end it, right? So this one we'll call it slash star simple selection by element id, right? This one will call simple selection by element class, right? This one will say simple selection by element grouping, but sorry, by grouping. We'll just call it grouping because we are grouping two ID declarations. Technically, you can also group two different, kind of tags. For example, you can add a H2 here, sample heading, save it, and you can say H1 and H2 both should be red, right? So you can do that as well, right? This is universal selection, right? So we have learned the different kinds of declarations in CSS now. So we'll learn about a bit more complex kind of selections, like combinations and other things in the next video. So have fun trying out this simple selections in CSS.